Hello. Hello. Hello, everyone. Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome. Welcome. Welcome again and again and again to the Parent Team Teen Session by Timeless Soul Inc. I'm sure we've had an awesome past 4 days. Please let me know if you've had a good time so far in the chat box. Just let us know how it has been. For me, I've had an amazing time as a parent. It has been a time of learning and unlearning and relearning. So let us know in the chat box how it has been for you with one word or two. Amazing, fantastic. Let us know. How has it been? How has the Parent Teen Summit by Timeless Soul Inc. been for you? How has the experience been? Let us know, let us know, let us know in the chat box. Can we all hear me?
Loud and
Okay.
clear. We can hear you, Coach Mo.
Okay. So I can see awesome. Ramat says it's been awesome. Good. Good. Thank you. Gold, you say you can hear me. Good to know. So welcome to the fourth day. Wow. Fourth day of the Parents Teen Summit by Timeless Soul Inc. Wow. Welcome, parents. Thank you, parents, for coming back again and again. And I know you're coming back because you've had a good time. And today is no exception. And myself and Coach Joy will be moderating this evening session. And this session is good. This evening session is going to be very enlightening. I'm sure you would find it enlightening, especially in this 21st century. So I would first of all introduce myself. I am a mobile treasurer known as Coach Mo, and my co-moderator would introduce herself. Over
Thank
to
you,
you, Coach
everyone.
Joy.
Yeah, thank you, Coach Moore. Very pleased to work with you this evening. It's been a blast right from the first day, and I'm so excited to be here again. Super excited. I've learned a lot, and I'm just waiting to practice. So my name is Joy Ojo. I am also a coach, and I'm a teacher. I double as a coach, a teenagers coach. I worked with them for a while. And it's so good to work with children. It's so good to work with adolescents. And, sometimes it can be confusing working with them, but we are grateful for the knowledge we are getting during this program. It can help to better our experience with them. Thank you very much. Okay, over to you, Coach. We can go ahead.
Okay, so we are going to talk about our facilitators today. And Coach Joy, I believe you have their bios. Could you briefly tell us who the facilitators are?
Thank you very much, Coach Mo. Before we move to the facilitators for today's event, I don't know, I would like us to share. Can we share a little bit? The media is going to give us the bio of a brief introduction video of our facilitator for today. His name is Dr. Adeyemi Abdul-Fatai. So, but before he comes up, I don't know if parents can share. Okay, the media is already projecting it, so let's listen for that video. Thank you. Can you hear? Media, we need volume.
Ustaz Dr. Abdul-Fatai Adeyemi is a transformational counselor and motivational speaker with over 30 years of experience, particularly focused on youth development. Known for his deep empathy and instinctive ability to address the emotional needs of others, he dedicates himself to counseling and nurturing, helping people to find healing and positive transformation in their relationships and lives. As a natural teacher and coach, Ustaz Abdul-Fatai excels in conveying not just information, but also love and understanding. His unique ability to identify and address subtle discord in relationships allows him to raise important questions that lead to meaningful change. He is committed to fostering unity across social, cultural, and religious divides, promoting cooperation and collaboration grounded in love, mercy, and spirituality. A tireless advocate for national development, Ustaz Abdul-Fatai upholds and promotes Nigeria's core values, including integrity, patriotism, social justice, religious tolerance, and dignity of labor. His works span motivational speeches, dialogues, counseling sessions, and mass media presentations, as he actively engages in initiatives to keep youth off drugs and prepare them for a future they are successful in. He is the founder and CEO of Beinocom Family Counseling Center in Abuja and serves as the Director of Counseling, Arts and Culture at the International Center for Islamic Culture and Education, ICICE, in Abuja, Nigeria. He is also a fellow of the Society of Nigerian Artists, FSNA, and a member of the Counseling Association of Nigeria. Additionally, he is an alumnus of the International Visitor Leadership Program in the USA. When not engaged in professional duties, Ustaz Abdul-Fatai enjoys spending quality time with his family, mentoring, working on his art, presenting TV programs, and collaborating with stakeholders on national programs and dialogues.
Okay, thank you, Coach Joy. Over to you.
All right, thank you very much, Coach Mo. Tonight, can we guess the topic? Yes. Now, if you're one of those parents that are afraid how to raise a child in this digital world, this evening is just for you. Our speaker, our facilitator is well-versed in the topic, and he's going to be talking to us today about navigating parenting in the digital world. He's going to be telling us how to parent these Gen Zs and how to do well with them. So, ladies and gentlemen, men and women, can you put your hands together? If you're standing, if you want to stand to welcome our host, our facilitator for today, I would like you to do that as we welcome our facilitator, Dr. Adeyemi Abdul-Fatai. Thank you very much.
Hello, good evening. Can you hear my voice?
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
All right, so may I show my face now?
Yes, you can.
Some drum roll. Okay, here I am.
The drum roll. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Yes, it's a pleasure to be in your midst tonight. And I wouldn't really know where to start from, but I want to express my appreciation to one of my sisters that insisted that I must be part of this program. And we are so grateful to Almighty God for giving us the opportunity to actually be part of it eventually. So when I was first told, I was wondering, what kind of program is that now at night when I'm supposed to be, chillaxing? But nevertheless, when she told me of the caliber of people that are involved, professionals, parents, I felt, okay, well, I'm a parent too now, so why not? Let's do it together. It's even a very nice time when everybody is back home, hopefully, and when everybody is a little more relaxed, from all of this gra of everyday existence. So we thank God for everything all the same. I want to thank you very much, Coach Joy Ojo and Coach Unwo. I didn't get the other name, but I just remember Coach Unwo.
It's M-U-O, sir. Mo.
Yes, Unwo.
Mo.
Mo. Mo. Yes.
Yes.
Sorry.
Thank you, sir.
I wish I knew how to pronounce it. Mo. Yes. I'll just call it Mo. Well, anyway, anyhow I pronounce it, you are the one I'm talking about. All right, so let's see what we can do. There's nothing much to say about this matter that all of us are not already aware of. But it's very nice as human beings to be reminded of our duties. It's very good to have this kind of gathering where we can discuss, where we can rub minds, where we can compare notes. And when amidst all other discourse in the nation, for instance, people talk about, prevalence of scarcity of this and that and that. All of those normal things now that we do in Nigeria, just look for gist, talk about the government, talk about the economy, talk about subsidy, talk about things like that. Somehow, not many people actually talk about children, as if the children are invisible, or as if we have, taken all of them away from Nigeria. Sometimes the hypocrisy of parents do get appalling to me, that sometimes we pretend or we behave as if the children are not a subject to discuss. Sometimes we even look at it as if, well, if there's any problem in the society, it is some people's children, after my own children are not involved. That kind of feeling that, well, it's not my children, it's other people's children. Well, may I let us remember that this matter is a very serious matter, talking about children. Don't we remember that we normally say children are the leaders of tomorrow, like we usually say? And for us as parents, it's a matter of time we are going to shift to one side and these children will continue. The thing is, one of the rents that we pay for coming to this world is to leave good children behind when we are no longer here. And that is the due that we pay for coming to this world. So I want us to, within the little time we have, let me make this submission. Perhaps the parents will pick one or two things from the things that we have to say. I also want to emphasize that these things we are going to be talking about now, it is not for those of us that are here per se. Let me tell you what I mean by this. The parents that really need to hear these things we are talking about, they are not even here with us. The parents who really have the issues, who have the problems, who need to check themselves, who need to rearrange their lives, who need to realign themselves with the realities of the world of today, they usually don't attend this kind of program. Do you agree with me? Somehow they don't show up. It is you parents who already have an idea and who are really assiduous and very serious indeed about the future of your children. You are the ones that are usually present in this kind of program. And so that is why I want to appeal to all of us to please, whatever thing you hear here tonight, or the ones you have been hearing from the beginning of this program, please don't keep it to yourself. Try to see how you can pass the message, at least so that the efforts of the organizers of this program will have yielded the desired result. Please pass it on to others and let them know that this is what is going on, and so that everybody can sit up, because If you and me, if we try to bring up our children in the right way and protect them from the digital onslaught of digital influence, what of other people's children too? We cannot keep our children inside the house forever. And we will not say they shouldn't go out to play. They will have their mates, they will have their peers. It's a very big world out there. And children, they get to be very vulnerable sometimes when we allow them to go play with others. But like I said, what can we do? We still have to do our best. So this is not for your own personal consumption. This is supposed to be what we all share with others. What I'm going to say now and what I've been hearing from others who must have spoken in the earlier days before me, please let us take these things very seriously. And I pray that Almighty God will make it easy for us. So let's begin like this. Amongst the signs of God's greatness is that He gave us children. All of those who have children know very well that, look, it is not by gra, it's not by power. It is only whoever God has given children to that He has given children to. Some people make effort like us and God didn't give them any. It's not because we are any better than them. It's not because we are, those kind of things more than them. It is because God just decided to choose us as amongst those people that will bring children to this world biologically. And I'm re-emphasizing this and praying that all of those who are praying for the fruit of the womb, may Almighty God answer their prayers and provide for them and, grant their requests. As for those who have, it is not by accident. God has a reason for doing that. And needless to say that it is God that gives children. When you give gift to somebody, you are supposed to give them the gift together with the wrapper or with the wrapping sheet, right? Like there's a proverb in my place that if you give ram to somebody, you give it to them together with the rope, so that the person can use the rope to take the ram away. That kind of a proverb. In God's own case, it's not like that. When God gives you a child, strings are attached. When God gives you a child, He's holding the rope like this. In other words, He wants to see what you are going to do with that child. Every child is a child of God. Let me put it that way. Those of us who are religious, we understand what I mean. Every child is a covenant from Almighty God. Every child has been brought to this world, not by accident, but by design, by decree of the Almighty. Almighty God has reason for bringing every child to this world, just like He has reason for making your child to come through you. That child could have come through somebody else. In fact, the children, they only come through us. They didn't come from us. Now, mark my English very well. They came through us, but not from us. Children are from God, but God decided to make them to come through us. So to whom much is given, much is expected. And that means if God in His infinite mercy and design has, given you a child to keep, that child is a trust. That child is, God will not just give you the child and then go to relax. He's watching over you. He's watching over that child, and He wants to see what we are going to do about that child. And God, as far as those of us who are religious is concerned, God is very serious when it comes to matters of children. Now, in the ever-evolving landscape of the digital age, parents, we know they face unique challenges in guiding their children through the complexities of technology. Many of us were BBC, that we were born before computer. And, well, some of us had even finished university before we were able to touch real computer, apart from the ones we were reading or learning about, theoretically. You know how old you were before you ever held a laptop. Yes, BBC, that's born before the computer. Now, these children now we are talking about, some of them from day one, they were born like this. They have started trending. Because as soon as the baby is born like this, the mother will snap and put on Instagram. Hey, everybody, congratulate me. I just got a bouncing baby child, that kind of thing. And people will be like, a child who does not up to 1 hour old is already having 100 likes, 1,000 likes. and the child will begin to start having followers even before the child will open the eyes. Now, you see, this kind of children we are having now, there's a way they are, honestly, and that is why we must not be surprised about the kind of creatures that they are. A child that is now able to hold something in the hand, the first thing the child will be struggling to do is to be pressing your phone. If you leave your phone for a small child, I'm talking about a child that is just scrolling, you'll be shocked as the way the child will be struggling to collect the phone from you. If you are picking a call and the baby is there, the baby will be dragging the phone from you. And they are fascinated with the light that comes from the phone. And then from then on, many things happen. You carry your baby that's still just sitting, carry your baby on your laps and be working on your laptop. You'll be surprised. This baby want to touch the keys, the keyboard, and will be wanting to touch the screen. This generation of children, they are not like what we thought of. These children are quite different. And with these experiences they are having from toddlers to when they get to teenage years, we know that we parents nowadays, we have to be very, very serious and very intentional about the way we raise these children. So we need to understand some things about them. And that is to say, what age of children are we actually talking about? Because when we talk about parenting or parenthood, we have to distinguish what age of children are we talking about, especially when it comes to matters of the digital world. What age are we referring to? Are we talking about toddlers? Are we talking about 7 years old? Are we talking about 10 years old? Are we talking about teenagers? That's between the early years and teenage years. So which one are we going to, to refer to about talking about children? Are we talking about 5 years old girl or 7-year-old boy? So does it matter if it's a boy or a girl? Do we raise them the same way in the digital age, or there should be some differences in the way we approach them? Then does it matter the temperament of the child? Some children are very smart from babies. In fact, you mothers, you bear me witness. Some babies, from when they were inside your womb, you know that this baby is going to be very smart. Because anytime you are happy and laughing, that baby will be kicking harder, and then, those kind of things. And anytime you feel sad and you are worried, the baby will just be like the baby is asleep throughout the day. You mothers, you bear me witness to this. So from babyhood, from inside your womb, some babies are already very sensitive. So how sensitive is the child that you are trying to bring up? Some children, they don't really care if you like watch TV, if you like press your phone, they will just be playing with their toys. They don't even have time for you. They'll be playing with their toys and doing some other things apart from showing interest in the phone you are holding. Some children are like that. So that is why I'm trying to be careful in making blanket statements when there may be variations and differences in the kind of children that you have that may not be exactly the same like the one that I have. So please bear with me if I'm generalizing. There may be some little differences in the way these kids are. Then does it matter the religion of the parents? Does religion matter when it comes to bringing children up in this digital age? Does it matter whether you are a very serious Christian or a devoted Muslim? Does it matter whether you go to as-salatu or you go for services on Sunday? Does it matter if you are a pastor or you are a deaconess? Or does it matter if you are an Alhaji or Afa? Does it matter if you are somebody who doesn't take religion seriously, or does it matter if you're somebody that is very, very serious with religiosity? What I mean by that is this. Our approaches to exposing our children to the digital age, sometimes our religious inclination can be a factor. Take, for instance, now, those who already know as far as Islam or Christianity is concerned, they already understand matters of morality. You don't need to preach to them about morality. They are already careful enough about the kind of content that they themselves, they consume on the, in the digital world. They don't do pornography, for example. See, I'm saying this because I know there may be exceptions, but this is my own belief. I believe that those who are religious as parents, they don't do certain things naturally. They don't just post themselves on the social media and be doing some things that we parents should know are immoral. They don't, they understand what we are talking about when it comes to godliness. In fact, I know some pastor friends of mine who all you can find on their phones are church services, inspirational songs. Those are the kind of things you find. So even if he leaves his phone with the children will they will listen to preaching tire. Then I know some imams too. If he leaves his phone with his children, it's so Quran they will be seeing there. So for those who may not be that religious or who feel they are secular in nature, who feel they are quite licentious, they try to be liberal. That means you have to be very cautious when it comes to your children and what they do. I'm not saying those who are religious should forget about their children too, but I'm just saying that there may be variations in the way we approach these things. Some of us claim to be religious too, but we don't practice the religion, to be frank. Some of us, the kind of things we do, our children better not see it. The kind of website you visit, your children better not see them. So you see, your own kind of parenting is a hide and seek kind of parenting. So be careful. May Allah make it easy for us, and may God help us in being better parents. Does it have to do with financial status of the parents? Well, if you are very affluent, there is likelihood that you want to give iPhone to your child when the child is small. And if you are not so, maybe you are just civil servant, just managing to survive. Maybe your telephone, your handset, you and your husband or you and your wife, you have to share a phone for some time because you cannot afford the big one that you want to buy. So does it matter the financial status of the parent when it comes to matters of being cautious with the digital age? I know that affluent parents have the tendency to indulge their children with telephone, very highly sophisticated telephone from tender age. So they have to be a lot more careful than the other people who use this Palasa touchlight phone that they have been using and nothing happened. They don't care. Then does it have to do with whether it's a single parent or both parents are involved? This is another factor to think about. So observe all of these things I'm saying and then see how you can be cautious. But let me go to things that are general now. Talking to your children now about the digital world is almost like talking to them about sex. Some parents are able to come out openly and educate their children about the digital world, and some parents are still very shy to talk about it. Some parents don't even think it's necessary to talk about it. So their children now goes about learning about the digital world from their peers and their friends. And this is a very dangerous thing. Snapchat, what do we call it? YouTube, TikTok, all of those kind of things that young people occupy themselves with, Instagram and so on and so forth. All of these things, children are in primary school, they already open a WhatsApp group for them, those kind of things. Some parents are not able to educate their children about these things. So their friends and their peers will be sharing some things with them that are untoward, that are not, age appropriate for those children. Now, coming to definition now, and I want you parents to listen to this very well. What is a web? When we say a person is on the website. What is a web? A web is what a spider does. And what does the spider use the web for? Well, the spider will set the web like a trap to trap insects, right? That the spider is going to eat. That is the basic natural definition of what a web is. It is what a spider will spin, and then, of course, to attract insect that it's going to eat. Then the spider also lives in the web also. Now, if the web is meant to trap an insect, then what of the website we are talking about? The bigger website in the digital sense is doing almost the same thing. And that is some people who have already spun the web and they are looking for people to attract in order to trap them inside. In other words, among the things that are addictive in life, being on the website is one of them. And many of these websites, they have the ads, they have the promos, they have the apps, they have so many ways of luring people into these particular websites. And when they're into this website, they get trapped into the website. Let me give you one example of a website. Amongst the most visited websites in Nigeria today are the websites on pornography. I want you to double check what I'm saying. Who are the people who are watching these pornographies? There are children and there are adults all involved. Those days they used to call them adult materials, but nowadays it is so bad that young people that are not even supposed to be holding phones, they already have their own version of pornography. And so let's think about it now. By the time they get trapped into this kind of website, they get addicted to this website and they remain there for a very long time. And among the things that you counselors and therapists, among the things you have to grapple with nowadays is addiction to pornography. Whose children are these ones? And who are these parents who are addicted to pornography? They are there in our society. They are amongst our colleagues in our places of work. They are amongst our neighbors that we allow our children to go and play with. They are amongst the acquaintances that we feel our children are supposed to be secured with. But unfortunately, many children are introduced to this kind of content even when they are very small. So parents, don't fall asleep. The web or websites, some websites as we speak now, they are just exactly like the web of a spider. Amongst the most visited websites after after that of pornography is the one of betting now. And unfortunately, we even have something called Bet Niger in Nigeria now. And these are well visited by young people and by old people. And amongst the entries of addiction to gambling is one of them now. It is highly recognized now. Then parents, don't forget, nowadays people talk about, all of these things of LGBTQ and things like that. Don't think it is too far away. These people have set some webs and they know some parents' children will fall into these webs, just like the spider does. And then when they enter into this web, they get devoured. Then when we talk about net, they say you are on, on the internet. What is a net? A net, by small definition, is what you use for fishing, for example. So you say you have a fishing net, and when you throw the net, you cast the net into the sea or into the water. What are you going to catch? You are going to catch fish. Internet now are meant to catch people. They are meant to catch people's children. And when they are caught, whatever happens to the fish after the fisherman catches them, that's what happens to these children. They are sold out and they are devoured. May God protect our children from all of this. So when people cast net now, who is going to catch who? Some people have designed this thing in order to catch other people's children. Let me tell you another thing that is similar. Then they say you are surfing the internet, right? You are surfing the internet. What do you mean by surf? That is when this kind of like something that looks like a skateboard, but this one is used for surfing, and then you do that surfing on the sea, the way we watch on movies. I've never done it before, I must confess, but I've seen them a lot on television, and in some other countries I've visited, I've seen people do that. So when you surf the internet, it's just like when you surf the real sea. You don't have a control over the wind. The wind tosses you around unless you learn to surf like a pro. So this is the same way the sea toss. When you are surfing, the same way the sea will toss you around from one website to another website, from one internet to another internet, from one link to another link. You cannot just see one and look away. From one to another one, they even interject with some advert, they interject with some, with some promo. They put some things inside that ordinarily a child may be looking at something like, I don't want to mention much of this thing, but some of these websites are there. Once you are there, they bring another one, Some things will just pop in and pop out. And some of these pops in and out are so attractive that children will normally get to it. And these guys are very good at recognizing algorithms. They know the age of the people that are in this that are using this internet, to the extent that the kind of content the person is searching will bring the algorithm, and they know the kind of ads and pop-ups that they'll give to that kind of a child. And before you know it, a child that is so innocent at the age of 13, 14, and 15 has already been introduced to a lot of things. In other words, when you solve the internet, you don't have any control over the wind. You don't have any control over what comes up. You can try, unless you are a pro. If as a child, you leave a child to go through this, the child can be easily misled about a lot of things. And there are some people who are able to hack into your laptop or your phone, and they can make access, they can gain access to the camera of your phone, to the extent that they can be seen and watching whoever is browsing at that point in time. It depends on the website you go to, and depends on the kind of things that you press on your phone, the kind of link that you press on your phone. This is another thing parents must be very, very careful about. Now, imagine somebody who cannot even swim. That person is surfing in the sea with sharks, with crocodiles in the river. You are surfing in the sea. What kind of parent will you be if you now also throw your children into the sea to surf when the children don't even know how to swim, talk less of knowing how to survive? When you throw a child to surf just like that, you are actually endangering the life of the child. At least you are endangering the psyche and the morality of that child. So parents must be careful about all of these things. So I've been talking about all of this, and I'm just calling our attention. How do we now mitigate the adverse effect of social media on the children? Well, there are things that we already know. And from what we have been talking about, you now have an idea of what you can do. Number one, there's need to set digital boundaries for your children. That is, we should have some value systems in our families that these children get to know that this is the boundary. You cannot cross this line. And when we talk about this digital boundary, there should be some honest conversations about the digital boundaries. You know, who are the people you can chat with? What websites can you visit? What website can you not visit? There should be no missing words about this. Let us engage the children and agree on the values, the common values that these children should not go beyond. Let them stay where we ask them to stay. And you cannot set these boundaries if you don't have values on your own, by yourself as parents. Take, for instance, parents that are into pornography. This thing I'm saying is both male and female. It's not only men that do pornography. Women also do pornography. God forbid. So when people are into this, you cannot set boundaries for your children because you already don't have any value that you are protecting. And that is why I was commending those who are religious amongst us, you know, who already know that, well, the Bible says or the Quran says they already have their own value system established. Even though they may not be very perfect about it, but let us set boundaries, yes, value boundaries. Let me put it that way. Number two, let us have this presence and mindful engagement. What do I mean by that? Mindfulness. What are your children doing? What are they watching? What are they doing? What are they surfing? What website are they visiting? Are these devices means of distractions to them? Are these children focusing on real things in life? How do we get to be mindful about this? That is to always think about what is happening to these children. And so I want to call this the presence. That is, your mind should be present and your body should be present. In fact, the whole of your life should be present with these children and what they do. Number three, let there be some digital unplugging once in a while. In other words, children cannot just be on the internet. For those of them that you have allowed to have access to the website and everything, yes, thank you for putting that required. Have mindful existence. Thank you for making it easy for me. The third one is digital detox, or what I call unplugging. Yeah, you have to do some detox once in a while. Just how do I describe this to you now to make you understand? In other words, cut off from the digital world for some time and enjoy quality time together with the children. This is going to be that you as a parent, you have to put down your phone, put down your digital thing. Yes, digital unplugging, put it aside and let everybody just have a nice time. Now, let me tell you something very funny about this. Do you know that most of us as parents, if data should finish from our phone, we look so sad as if somebody died. Has it ever happened to you that your children are asking, Mommy, what happened? Somebody died? Or somebody will say, Daddy, are you all right? Daddy is so sad and down because his phone is malfunctioning and he cannot browse. Because of that, the whole of his life is destabilized. No, what kind of parents are those? As a mother, if you don't have data, leave it now. In other words, don't be too plugged to your phone as if it's an appendage to your life. Let us learn to keep away from phone. In fact, I normally call this phone fasting. Let's do some phone fasting for some hours at night when the children are all around and we parents are around. Let us do some other things apart from pressing phone or apart from being plugged to the internet. This is what I mean by that. If you are bringing up children that you want them to be intelligent and you want them to make something good about their lives, please, once in a while, show them that the whole of your life doesn't have to depend on the internet. So if there's no light, let's say there's NEPA outage now, like we normally say when there's no light. If there's no light, do you know that many of us parents, we are so, I want to use one word, we are so useless. There must be inverter or there must be generator. Both us and the children, we don't even know what to do with our lives if there's no light. Take that for instance. If there's no light, sit down now with the children, switch on the rechargeable lamp, and you should be telling stories or discussing things. If these kind of moments are lacking or missing in your family, then you are not ready to cope with the digital age. So ensure that boldly, let there be moments when there are other things that you can do with the children apart from pressing phone or being present on the internet. This way, we are going to mitigate in fact, the children will have other lives apart from that. And another thing, number 4, is let there be what we refer to as communication and empathy. What do I mean by communication? Okay, when a child is introduced to the phone, for instance, let us discuss about it. What exactly is going on? You know, what I mean, I want parents to understand this very well. I don't want it to be that because we are bringing up children, we are being cautious, then our children become totally ignorant about what is happening in the digital world. You understand what I mean? Don't let it be that your 15-year-old, your teenager, when they say something about Instagram, they don't even know what it means by Instagram. That is not, I'm not talking about raising ignorant children. No. I'm not talking about raising children that it is better if they were growing up in the village with grandma. I'm not talking about raising children that their friends will be talking in public and they don't know what to say, they don't know what's going on. I'm not talking about raising children that these things will be such a big deal to. I'm not talking about raising children that cannot say no when their friends say, let's visit this website. Some children don't even know what a website is. No, don't raise dumb. So don't raise children who are ignorant. Don't raise children who are naive. Let the children know that this digital world exists, but communicate with them. Let them know these ones are good and these ones are bad, and discuss with them why this one is good and why. Thank you. Oh, may Allah bless you. Somebody just mentioned raising digitally illiterate children. No, don't do that though. Let your children be literate. Let them know well. In fact, let them sabi. Let me use that word. Let them sabi well about what is happening in the world. Let them know what TikTok is all about. Let them know what Instagram does. Let them know what even WhatsApp groups, what they do there. Let them know the different kind of websites, what it does to people. I'll still talk a little, if I have time, about the ones, the positive things that we can introduce these children to. So what I'm saying is, let us just communicate. Let us analyze. Let the children know that mommy doesn't like this one or daddy doesn't want that one. And let them have the reason why you don't like those things. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. That's what I mean by communication. Don't just be there and be boning your face, frowning your face every time. That, no phone, no internet, no. You just be behaving like somebody from Stone Age. No, don't do that, parents. Don't pretend as if everything about the internet and everything is bad. Don't tell them that it is Satan that is living inside TikTok. No, don't tell them that. Let them know the good and the bad and the ugly side of technology. That's what I mean by communication. Then number 5, set the priorities right, and let us have time management. I must have mentioned that in the past. Number 6, let there be privacy and trust. In other words, let the children know that there are some things you shouldn't post on the internet, for instance. Take Facebook, for instance. Some people, even the day they prepare spaghetti and sardine, they will post it on the Facebook and say, everybody come and see what I just ate today. That doesn't make sense now, Abi. What do you want to benefit from that? Then some parents will teach their children, the children will snap their new dress or snap their new shoes, or my mommy just bought designer handbag for me, or things. And no, those are very frivolous. Please let us assure that they don't really make sense. And I pray that we will be rightly guided about all of these things. So because of time, let me just cut it all short. And with regards to some of the things we can use to turn the digital world into advantage for ourselves, let us know that, well, digital connection can also be an extension of a real world connection. Let your children know how to communicate with you if you are not around. Let them know how to operate a phone. Let them know how to send text message. Let them know how to chat with you. For parents who travel a lot, who are not always around, let your children know how they can link up with you, how they can do FaceTime with you, how they can call you on video, how you can even assist them to do their assignments even when you are not around, how they can be security conscious, how they can use video to record what is happening in the house and send it to you wherever you are if you are not around. You have gone to work, you are coming back late, let your children know how to communicate with you, how to chat with you. Let there be enhanced communication and understanding. Let your children know how to express themselves to you. Sometimes some of these children may not be able to confront you to ask for things. Let them know that, look, if you want to express yourself, you want to tell daddy about what is disturbing your mind and you don't know how to say it, you can chat with me. I'll be ready to chat with you. Daddy may be at work, the children may be at home during holidays like this. Let them chat with you. Daddy, how are you? Hope you are having a nice day. Then you say, my daughter or my son, I'm okay. Hope you are enjoying your holiday. Remember to do this, remember to do that, remember to do that. That kind of a thing. Let us train our children the good side of using this. Then it can also be a nice time to share memories and milestones in our lives. The nice things that are going on in our lives, the nice things we just discovered, the nice things that is happening to us, we can share the memory with our children. Daddy is making a very nice presentation in his office today, and then someone is recording Daddy live for children to watch at home. That kind of a thing. It's very nice if we make good use of it. And generally, we can use to express love and appreciation. Daddy, thank you. Mommy, thank you. Mommy, how are you feeling? Daddy, how is your day going? And generally now, in a world of screen and silent swipes, where touch is measured in types, people tap and they like, let us guide our children through this maze that is happening to us, mazes that are governed by bytes and pixelated days. Let the eyes of the children reflect the digital gleam. Let's have a world that is more virtual than what they can dream about. Let us try to be digitally literate parents, because we are raising children in a world of digital engagement now. Let us be digitally savvy as parents, and let us use this to create a brighter future for our children. On TikTok, for instance, science and technology, some shortcut to solving mathematical problems, reading and learning how to write well. They can learn that on YouTube. Skill shares. They can learn almost how to bake any type of cakes. If you show them the website, they can visit. They learn how to sew. They learn how to barb hair for their siblings. They know how to plait hair for the girls in the family. In fact, your children can learn how to plait all sorts of styles of hairstyle for you as a mother. If you show them the website they can use, they know how to do things, simple hacks in the homes. how to do the dishes in a very easy way, how to clean dirty plates with simple hacks, how to preserve fruits and vegetables, how not to waste food, how to read and study so that you understand, how to memorize in mnemonics, how to speak well, how to express yourself, how to excel in life, and how to be motivated by children that are, that are doing great all over the world. They will not just be localized, they will be globally, oriented, and they'll be able to link up with other people elsewhere where these children are achieving great heights in life. Children who are discovering some things, children who are writing poems, children who are doing spoken words, children who are literates on their own, children who are geniuses even at younger age. These are the kind of things we should introduce our children to so that we can be properly guided and well-enlightened digital parents. Thank you very much. And I thank myself for thanking you.
Oh, wow. Wow. Please clap for Dr. Abdul Fattah Adeyemi. This was an awesome session. Please clap for him. Tell him thank you, sir. Such an enlightening time we've had with him. It is good to know that the digital world is it's not a world that does not exist. He has made us see this by saying that we ourselves as parents have to be literate. We have to be literate. We cannot be illiterate in this digital world if we're going to lead our children, our adolescents well. So thank you so much, Dr. Adeyemi, Abdul Fattah Adeyemi. We are, shall I say, more enlightened now on how to lead our children in this digital age is here already. It's not going anywhere. So we're going to give you some time to take a water break, and then we would come back for you to answer our questions. So you can begin to put in your questions in the chat box before Dr. Abdul Fattah Adeyemi returns. So begin to put in your questions in the chat box. And then for now, we're going to go over to thank our sponsors. This parenting summit is free, but is not free. There are people in the background who have given it to us free, and we want to thank them. So let's go over and thank them. Welcome back. Welcome back. So questions. I'm going to start with one question. At what age, Doctor, are you back, sir? Are you back,
Yes,
sir?
I'm here with you.
Okay.
Yes, I'm here with you.
Okay, so this is Coach Mo talking. I'm asking you this question, and it is for the sake of those who don't have an idea of when to start, when a child should actually start surfing the net, because you talked about surfing the net and you related it to swimming. And I know that swimming starts with children from as young as babies in some cultures. So when do we start allowing a child to surf the net?
Should I answer it now?
Yes, please.
Okay, yes, it's very difficult. That's why I was talking about relativity of who a child is earlier on. You remember I was saying that some children are very smart too, and some children, they're naturally very calm. They don't go beyond what you ask them to do. Some children, you can give them and your mind will be at rest because you know this child very well. But some children are very curious. Some of them, forgive me for saying, are very vicious. And so every parent knows their own children. I may not be able to say precisely that this is the age, but let us study each child very well. And let me give you a personal example why I cannot say it must be this age. I've been very fortunate in my life that what I treasure most are books. And I have, a library size room where I'm exaggerating, it's not that big. A library size room where I have books all over. All my life, I will travel out of the country. The most important things I will buy, I would have bought books to cargo before I remember to buy one shirt for myself. So it so happened that my children, one day, I came back from outside and I met them. This one was holding iPad. This one was holding phone. And about 3 or 4 of them were on one device or the other, including the eldest of them. So I was very angry. I said, you people are busy pressing phone. All of the books I have here, who is going to read them? Instead of you people to be reading books, you are pressing phone. Then one of them said, Daddy, but we are reading. I said, what are you reading? What are you reading? Honestly, not as I'm saying it, I was very angry, I was very sad, and I was very disappointed. So I challenged them further, and only for one of them to tell, thank God I didn't show too much anger. One of them now said, but Daddy, I'm actually reading an online novel. Another one said, I'm actually reading some books. There's a library, online library, which I believe you too can also read. So I said, show me. To cut the long story short, one of them now said something. He said, look, Daddy, this phone that I'm holding can contain times 10 all of the books you have in this library. It was a mixture of sadness and disappointment for me, because look at my child telling me that all of these books can enter into this phone. I'm telling you honestly, I never knew by that time that there were online libraries that I could read some of these books for free. Incidentally, they taught me the website. I subscribed to it. I was paying, monthly dues, like they deduct from my card, and everybody got the password to be reading anything you want. In fact, there were thousands of books on that app. Eventually, what I realized was that, see, the eldest of them and the one next to that and the one next to that, they all know how to do all of these things. Now, I had a very young one amongst them who was still in primary school. And this one too, eventually I had to give a phone to that one so that one too can also key into that library to read whatever they want to read and to practice what they want to practice from school. So if they give them any assignment, they already know what website to go to and look for books that he can use in doing the assignment. Now, you see, this was my own experience. Because the elderly ones have already keyed into making good use of the internet and the phone, I was not afraid for the younger one who was imitating the elderly ones. So this is different from if it was a first child that I'm dealing with. Now I had teenagers amongst them who will even be teaching me some things that are happening in my own field. And after a while, whenever I had a lecture to deliver, there's one of them who happened to be very smart. All of them are quite smart. I thank God for that. That I will say, look, I have a topic to talk about. Look for some point for me. And I must confess to you, my sister, that it is these same children that introduced me to AI. and I was able to use AI for my, doctoral things and whatever thing I do as an academic. So in a nutshell, one cannot say this is the age, but you know the kind of children you have, and you know the kind of distraction that these children may have to cope with. That doesn't mean that there are no boundaries. That doesn't mean they are always holding their phones. That doesn't mean that they cannot read, what do we call the kind of book you hold in your hand that's going out of fashion now? Hard copy. That doesn't mean they cannot read hard copy books. They still do all of this one, but my own joy as a person is that they understood what should be done, what the phone should be used for. And I pray that our children too, all of them, God will guide them so that they'll be able to emulate us as parents, in the good ones that we do, in the good ones that we do. Not the mothers that will be gossiping on TikTok and be dancing on Instagram. You know what I mean now? Let me not say too much.
So we have thank you so much. So we have a few questions. I don't know if we have enough time. I would take as many as we can. We need to end in about a minute or two. Please, sir, if you can give us the answers in a few seconds. I think I have about 3 questions. The first one says, the common excuse parents give is that their business is on the phone and depends on the phone. How can such parents manage their children's interactions with devices? So if you could quickly answer that, so I could read out some other questions to you, sir.
It's very easy now. They should let the children know that it's a business they are doing with the phone. That's why they are always online. Let the children know. Let them be aware. Let them know the kind of business you even do, ma. Let them know what you do, what you press. Let them know the kind of customers and clientele you have. You can't keep secrets from these children anymore. Just let them know whatever they need to know as children. Once they know that mommy is on phone chatting with her customers, they will not say they want to be chatting. They don't have customers, of course. So they will know that it is not for them at that point in time.
Okay, thank you so much. A parent that is not well versed in most of the social media tools / devices, how best could he checkmate these inquisitive children? So
we have to learn.
Not well versed.
Yes, we have to learn, and sometimes we have to learn from them. Whenever the children are on the internet or they are doing their things, please come close to them and tell them, please teach me how you do these things. What are you learning from here? What are you pressing here? What's this about? What's that about? If you move close to them, they will teach you things you'll be shocked that you know. So yeah, to catch a monkey, you might need to act like one. Thank you. Otherwise, they'll be deceiving you. Well, some children are very smart and vicious like that. God save us from such children. But look, even if you are going to take a course to learn about these things, child upbringing is not my mind, is not beans. You have to learn these things and don't give an excuse that you don't know about it. This is digital age, and you have to be digital parent. And when you give birth to children in this digital world, you have to know what they do and ensure that you don't allow these devices to distract them. Let's try our best. We should learn.
Yes,
we should learn.
Thank you so
Parenting
much.
is a serious job.
Yeah, I remember you saying that we have to be literate too when it comes to the digital world. So
thank you, exactly.
That already answers the question. And finally, I would ask this question: how do you help children draw the line online to avoid digital addiction?
Thank you for that very, very important question. Well, we should create other things for them. Children cannot just sit down idle. Create things that should interest them. Let them have hobbies. Let them have other things that excite them, other things that interest them. Most of us will raise this kind of children they call get inside kind of children. Children of GRA. They don't have neighbors. They don't play with anybody. They don't play with normal human beings. This is our own making. We caused it by ourselves. But even if your children are indoor children, there should be some other things that we should create for them. And I leave this challenge to the parents. Let us not children cannot just sit down and fold their arms and be looking. Some things have to be used to occupy their time. So if there are no sports, if there are no games, if there are no discussions, if there are no story time, if there are no, walk out, go visit somebody or go play around under supervision, if those things are not there and all we do is book, read, these children will be bored to death and they'll be looking for ways to escape. Children must be allowed to be children. Please, let us know that they are children and play is their second name. but
Yes.
don't let them get hooked to computer game or some kind of games or plays that they cannot unplug from. So I remember my sister, when we were very small, there used to be an uncle now or a grandmother that would be telling us stories at night. Nobody does that anymore. You know, nobody sits the children down and interact and interface with them. The only people that we are allowed to see with their children are the teachers. When they go to school, they come back. We also have lesson teachers. We have extramural lesson. We have ABBA. Every time we put book in their heads, and these children don't know anything else apart from book. That way, the internet will be easily addictive to them, because it's like the only way they can escape all of these books we are putting in their heads. So parents should please research and learn what other things can interest your children. A mother whose 15-year-old girl doesn't know how to prepare Indomie, you know, that's a very failed parent. I use the word very for that kind of parent. We remember when we were small, our fathers taught us some things, how to tie the rope of our trousers, how to tie the lace of our shoes, how to ride bicycle. My own mother taught me how to weave at Makasa, those kind of things. I don't know what you mothers nowadays have to teach your children. So we should research and find ways of getting them engaged with other things. I know very well that even if you are going to use the same internet to teach them the things that they should do, it will be easy for them to have an off time. There is art, there is design, there is coding, there is cartoon that they can draw. There is so many things these children can do. From the same internet, then they come out to come and practice what they have learned and what they have seen. And I believe we can do it. Yes, we can do it. Let's just try.
Yes,
We
I
can
agree with
succeed
you
by God's
very
grace.
much. I agree with you very much, Doctor. It's you have already you've said it all, even from the teaching. So it is on our own part as parents to be able to research and find ways of engaging our children using the same digital world that we are afraid of, you know, them using it for something wrong. And somebody says some do have a way of communicating with their friends and delete it for parents not to be aware. What can you say about that? I believe Doctor has answered that too, but if he wants to, we will just give him a second to do that because we have run out of time. And somebody else also asked if there are ways, something to ensure that they keep the children in check. What sort of things do you suggest, you know, to keep when they are in the digital world?
My sister, let me put it this way. It's very difficult for me to say, but let me tell us that, look, after all said and done, we still have to train our children to be godly. After all said and done, your children have to have fear of God in their hearts. After all said and done, your children have to know that they are answerable to Almighty God. And let them know God's will, what God wants them to do, what God doesn't want them to do. From baby, I'm not talking about when they are now grown up and they are stubborn. From baby, learn to discipline your child, learn to train them in the way of God. Let them understand that mother's words are supreme and daddy's instruction is absolute. Your children are not your friends. You are the parent, you are the mama, and forget about they calling you mommy. You are mama. And when they call you daddy, that doesn't mean that you behave like daddy. You are baba. So you must be able to stand your ground and discipline your child to follow your instructions. Not this one that we start negotiating with our children. We start pleading with our children. We start rubbing hands on their heads when they are being recalcitrant and when they are being stubborn. Let us be serious with parenting. You have to open your eyes once in a while and say no, and your no is going to be absolutely no. And there's absolute martial law, nothing your child can do about it. So your child is not your friend, your child is not your advisor, your child is not your advisee. You give instruction, you don't negotiate when it comes to raising children that you know have the tendency to be stubborn. These ones that will delete their message, they will hide some things from you. You didn't train them in the way of God now. And what do you expect when devil is trending now? It's everything that is bad that's happening now, and don't think it can't happen to your child. No matter how religious or irreligious we are, we've got to be very, very serious about this. And that's why I keep praying that God will give us the strength to be able to do the best, to discipline when we should discipline, to open our eyes when we should open our eyes, to stand our feet when we have to do so, and to insist that you are the one in charge. You are the one in control here, and you are the boss.
Thank you so much, Dr. Abdul Fattah Adeyemi. I'm sure we are so glad we were part of today's session. If you were, please clap for him again as he takes a bow, and we say, have a good evening, sir, and thank you
Thank you
for
very much.
this insightful time with you.
Thank you for the opportunity. Hope to see you guys again some other time. God bless you.
So much. Thank you so much, sir. So please,
All right.
parents, remember to please fill the feedback form. It has been posted up on the chat, in the chat box. You would see it posted up. Please fill the feedback form because it's going to help us serve you better. And you can always find the videos of all the sessions, if you have missed anyone, in the YouTube channel for Timeless Soul Inc. It's at Timeless Soul Inc. Everything is written there at the in the chat box. And now we are gearing up for the next session. So over to you, Coach Joy. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Absolutely. It was a very insightful time. I wish we can continue, but thank God the little we have learned, we'll put it into practice, and I know that for sure it's going to better my home. It's going to better each and every of our homes. Thank you very much. We don't have so much time. We're going to move straight to the next session. And then to take us through the next session, we have our own very
100 naira, 200 naira,
Ali.
300 naira. Mama Nkechi, take.
Wetin I wan carry 300 naira do?
Mama Nkechi, every day me and you go comot house go hustle for market. If anything do us, who go dey our back?
So na 300 naira one day our back.
You never hear of Goxi Microinsurance, the first licensed specialized microinsurance company for Nigeria, where they give cheap insurance cover with as low as 300 naira. Goxi Microinsurance get insurance products like Goxi Cooperative Welfare Scheme, Goxi My Business, Goxi Agric Loan Protection, and others wey go give us peace of mind.
Oya, make we start now.
Goxi Microinsurance no dey give loan, but we go help you carry your wahala with our insurance package.
For more information, make you visit them office for Edward and Valeria Plaza, 107 Obafemi Awolowo Way, Ikeja, or make you call 0802-314-0939 and 0815-287-9591. Terms and conditions dey. Goxi Microinsurance. Small money, big.
Okay, thank you. That was one of our sponsors, Goxi Microfinance Bank. Now we're going to move straight to the next session, and I'll be reading the introduction of our next speaker. Her name is Aminat Yunus Ali. She's an accomplished professional with a diverse set of skills and an unwavering commitment to helping others. Armed with a degree in family therapy, expertise in performance consulting, and a proficiency in neuro-linguistic programming, she is apt to assisting individuals in overcoming childhood traumas, managing grief, and living life at its fullest. Aminat is a highly regarded master practitioner and a member of the management board at the Institute of Family System Engineering and Development, as well as a fellow of the Institute Professional Coaching and Mentoring. Additionally, she is a distinguished mediator, certified by the International Mediation Campus in Germany, with a specialization in family mediation. Her expertise is resolving family drama is unparalleled. But that's not all. Amina is also an emotional coach specialist from the Gotham Institute in Canada, and an intermediate level practitioner of tapping mediation. Her expertise in these areas allows her to help individuals achieve inner peace and personal growth effectively. Amina's dedication to positive change and healing knows no bound. Her qualification and commitment to her clients' well-being are limitless. If you're looking for a professional who can help you overcome challenges and achieve your goals. Amina Yunus Ali is the perfect choice. Don't hesitate to reach out to her and experience the difference firsthand. So put your hands together as we welcome our next coach, our next facilitator, Amina Yunus Ali, as she takes the floor. Thank you.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Good day, wherever you are. Can you all hear me? Okay. Looking for myself on the. All right.
Yes, we
so I can. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you so much, Coach Joy. Thank you so much, Coach Mo. I am so happy to be here tonight. Petrified somewhere. I've been in the background for a while, so I have gotten accustomed to being in the background all this while. Dear parents, thank you. Thank you so much for making the summit one that has been immensely gratifying, knowing that each night that we come here and we find the number of participants on Zoom, the number of viewers on YouTube, we just have, I personally, I just have this incredible warm feeling that my heart is so full, because I know that what we have prepared, it is one thing, for you to cook soup. It's another thing for you to find people that will eat the soup too, isn't it? But that we know that we are here and you show up to listen to all our amazing speakers. You show up to see what we are about. Is just being, incredibly gratifying for me personally and for my team as well. So thank you once more for trusting us with this journey. Tonight, so I'm supposed to take this particular session tomorrow, but we had to switch because the workshop that would be so superb that would follow Dr. Adeyemi's keynote. It's talking about creating a family digital plan, right? Creating a family digital master plan. And that would have helped you to answer some of the questions that I saw in the chat box, like how do we protect our children from online predators? How do we ensure that the children are listening to the right things or watching the right things at the right time and all that? So by God's grace, that will be taking place tomorrow. So please don't run away. Be here again so that you can learn. In addition to that, you also have a keynote about the particular topic that I'm taking the workshop today. So I'll share my slides. Today I'm talking, it's a workshop, and it is meant for us to interact. It is meant for us to understand a little bit more about something we call in psychology or pseudopsychology, the PSI, Parenting Stress Index. Now, before I start, I want to start with before I go on, I want to start with a little story, why I actually chose to talk about parenting stress. In the chat room, I want you to just quickly check again with yourself, on a scale of 1 to 5, how often have you felt stressed this week? We know if some people are not being truthful, but on a scale of, okay, it's already coming. On a scale of 1 to 5, what has been your stress level? Somebody says 5, I'm saying 3, I'm saying 5 plus, I'm saying 6/5, I'm saying 4, 5.5. Wow. Okay. Now recall that I mentioned that it is stress. I only asked for stress. I didn't ask for your parental stress. But if you were to go further, right, and think about it, how much of this stress is because the children are on holidays right now? Now, let's see. Still on the scale of 1 to 5, I want to know. Somebody said, would you say it's 10/5? Now, begin to think about it. How much of this stress is because children are on holiday right now? So I'm saying 7. Okay, can we have more answers? Oh, yeah, 5. Wow. Someone says 2. Okay, thank you. Asma says 0.5. Daniel says 5. Kuya says 3. All right, thank you so much for being honest.
Coach Folashade says has his work related. Okay, maybe because you actually have grown children anyway, so that's a trait, that's a secret, isn't it? Or that's the default, isn't it, for you right now? Now, our parenting mode, no matter what age your child is, I want you to take a deep breath and think back to the first child that you had. What was it? What were you feeling? What was it that made you feel like, yes, I wanted to have a baby? And then when the child arrived, how did you feel about the child? When you had the child, what was your imagination, basically? What were you thinking before you had the child? What were the things or the dreams or the hopes that you had before the child came to be born, your first child came to our presence in this world? Now that you're a parent, now that you're parenting, what's your reality? Is it all flowers and rainbows? Is it all singing like Mary Poppins, like you used to see? Is it like Jimmy Sholanke talking about stories? Is it all fun? There was a statistics taken by Zoya, and it says that the truth is that 81% of Africans are more stressed than 60% identified globally. And the interesting thing about the statistic is that it was actually measuring parenting stress. So when you look at the parenting stress of the global parenting index, all other countries, all other continents have about 61% stress, Africans particularly. And I dare say maybe if you were to be brave enough to look at that of Nigeria, have 81% higher than those of the other global continents. Now, what is that telling you? When we think about stress, I like to define, particularly parenting stress, the distance between our dreams and our reality. It is one thing for you to want so badly to become a parent. It is another thing for you to eventually see that the child that you have requires a lot of work. So you begin to ask yourself, all the speakers that I've mentioned that have come to this summit so far, they have said one thing. In fact, I've never missed it because I'm always collating nuggets with my team. Not one of them have missed it to remind us of how intentional we need to be when it comes to parenting. That parenting is work, parenting is intentionality, parenting is this, parenting is that. And at some point, you're asking yourself, am I even ready? There was a parenting class that I held, was it last year, and it was talking about sex. We're helping parents understand how to teach the children sex talk. And at the point, one of the participants just said, you know what, Ms. Amina, I wish I had known this before I had children. I would have thought twice before I had, I think, 3 or 4 children that she mentioned at that point in time. And I get this feedback often. In fact, in the parent information group that we created for the Parenting Summit, someone said this morning that, man, this summit has been worthwhile, but it has also been overwhelming. When you look at the amount of information that we have to give you about what you need to do as a parent, how you need to parent, how you need to step, and how you need to show up, and how you need to do this and that, because it can sometimes make you feel like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm so tired. Like, I want to give up. But there are also joys, aren't there? I love the way Dr. Adeyemi mentioned how important it is for us to pay attention to the good of the digital world. There's so much joy when people say, in my native language, Ekwewomo, and they're all giddy and happy. Ekwewomo means that, to translate it literally is journey safely through the dangers of birthing, or safe travels through the dangers of birthing, or welcome through the dangers of birthing. It is like, it was as though our ancestors knew that there's so many dangers in birthing, but there's also so many dangers in preventing. Because now, like Dr. Adeyemi reminded us earlier, our children are trust. And it is one thing for you to say you have the biological capacities to be a parent. There's another thing for you to have the fundamental basics of becoming a true parent. And the distance between these two is often what affects our stress levels, and begin to wonder, hey, these children, you're at work, They're at home. You don't know whether they are watching what they are supposed to watch. You sign them up for classes with coaches. You are not sure whether they are paying attention, and you are continuously checking on them. Is that what you're supposed to do? Is that what you're watching? Because again, you're beginning to ask yourself, am I doing the right thing? Is what I'm doing enough to particularly train these children in the way of God as I've been instructed to do? So this is why we check our parenting stress index. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the parenting stress index. But the fundamental why is to help us assess how we are experiencing parenting. Sometimes we do the work of parenting. We don't even pay attention to the nitty-gritty emotional escapades or the emotional experiences that we show up with in our parenting. Now, these are the things that would eventually also affect our parent-child connection. The entire thing for this summit has been interconnected. The way you are is the way your child is going to be. The way your child is the way you're going to be. So if you're having, and we'll see it later on, if you're having stress as a parent, it could lead to distress. And when it leads to distress, it begins to affect your parent-child relationship, causing it to be diseased. When your parent-child relationship is diseased, what happens? You begin to lose that children. So the parent stress index actually provides a little bit of insight. I've created very short questions, the basic questions that I use in my practice with parents that I coach, right? It provides a measure of stressed parenting that you're currently having, so that you can have a glimpse into it, so you know what you need to change, right? Because basically, the more stressed you are as an individual, the more your child misbehave and then begin to tailor down into family dysfunction. I say this often to parents. There are two rules that I live by as a coach and as a parent. No child, no matter how you get back to the child, no matter the reason you get back to the child, no matter the condition pre-existing before you get back to the child. And I said condition, maybe you and your spouse, or maybe you and your partner are on a no talking level. No child whatsoever is born into this world to make your life miserable. The ability for that child to be, the ability for you to be miserable is as a result of what you are experiencing internally and externally. It has nothing to do with who that child is. However, point number two, what you now decide as a result of how you have that child will also affect who that child becomes as they begin to grow. But don't let me talk too much. Then we're going to take the test. It's okay if you don't have a pen and paper. All I need you to do is to just put the numbers on your phone. So for each point or each question that I read out, on a scale of 1 to 5, where 1 is strongly disagree, 2 is disagree, 3 is neutral, 4 is agree, and 5 is strongly agree. I want you to rate yourself based on your recent experience as a parent. So your recent experience would cover maybe the last 2 weeks or the last 3 weeks, not last month when that child broke the TV, not last year when that child ran home because something happened in school, not 2 years ago when you had to sleep in the hospital for talking about the recent experience, because that would give us the true measure of how stressed you are. So let's take the test. Are we ready? If you're ready, let's say yes on the chat room. Are we ready? I want to see the yeses. Okay, coming in. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, great. All right. So again, remember the instruction is measure your experience in the recent times on a scale of 1 to 5, with 1 being strongly disagree and 5, the highest of the scale, is strongly agreeing. So the first one is, I often feel overwhelmed by the responsibilities of parenting my adolescent. Is it 1? Is it 2? Is it 3? Is it 4? Is it 5? Okay. I often feel overwhelmed by the responsibilities of parenting my adolescent. Now, if you don't have an adolescent, it's okay. Just think about your child or think about your children, right? If you have multiple children, think about them as a unit, right? Like you have 3 or 4 children, it's okay. Think of them as a unit, All right. So number 2, I find it hard to connect emotionally with my child and enjoy our time together. If you were to ask me this particular question, this number 2 question, one of the things that my daughter will most likely come and whisper in my ear is that, you know, that we haven't had our time together this week at all. And it is understandable, right? Because of the summit. But that is what it means to be a parent, isn't it? And I'll share some more insights into that. Number 3, my child's behavior. No, don't write it to me. Write it to yourself. You're going to total it together. Write it to yourself. Don't write it on the chat box. Just keep writing the answers on your own by yourself, maybe in a paper, or get your phone and put it down, send a message to yourself or something. We're going to total it together later on. So number 3, my child's behavior frequently causes conflict within our family, right? So you're thinking about a child who, you know, they'll do something, the dad will say it this way, mom will say it this way, and, you know, before you know it, the child that did something has gone to sleep, but mother and father are continuously shouting or making noise and making it feel like, yeah, the child is the cause of their conflict. Number 4, I enjoy being a parent and I find it rewarding despite the challenges. Now, in this one, it is on a scale, you know what, just leave it like that. It's still on a scale of 1 to 5. 1 being strongly disagree. There's a reason we put it that way anyway. 1 being strongly disagree, 5 being strongly agree. I enjoy being a parent and find it rewarding despite the challenges. Okay, so we are moving on. This is a 10-item questionnaire, so we are halfway through. Number 5, managing my child's needs adds significant financial strain on our family. If you've got a special needs child, this is one of the areas that you want to pay attention to, because sometimes, you know, it is very easy for us to dismiss or to disemphasize the pain that we are feeling or the stress we are feeling as a result of special needs. This is one safe place, whether you're on YouTube or you're in this Zoom room, where you can actually be honest with yourself. And that's why I keep insisting, please don't put the answer in the chat room. Write it to yourself, okay? Can we switch over? Can we go to the next slide? Can I go to the next slide? If you're done with 1 to 5, please put yes, yes, yes in the chat room so I need to switch to the next slide. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, great. So we can switch over. All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Then number 6. Number 6, I often feel unsupported. Coach Mo, please help me mute those people who may come in, and if they're unmutable, just send them to the waiting room. Thank you. So number 6, I often feel unsupported in my parenting role, whether from my partner, family, or friends. If you're a single parent, it doesn't matter whether you are living in a place where you have people and where you have your families around you. But perhaps you should have people. We do say that it takes a village, doesn't it? You have a support system. But if you feel like your support system is not supporting you, then you need to question that. We need to think about that, right? Or you don't even have a support system. Let's talk about that. Great. Number 7, my adolescents' mood swings and emotional ups and downs are difficult for me to handle. So think about it. When your adolescent is happy one time and then within a twinkle of an eye, they are belligerent and angry. And you're like, what happened to this happy-go-lucky, fun-loving person? No. And instead of trying to understand, you are triggered, you are angry yourself, you're feeling sad, you're feeling disappointed yourself, right? And this is constantly the case, and you're beginning to feel overwhelmed. Let's talk about it. You know, put the most honest answer in recent time there. Number 8, I am worried about my child's future, including their academic performance and personal decisions. I am worried about my child's future, including their academic performance and personal decisions. So these are for parents who are constantly scared of the kind of friends that their children are engaged with, or are constantly in that space of what is tomorrow going to be like. We haven't solved today, but we are constantly worried. Hey, this ChatGPT, oh, this AI thing, oh, this tab, oh, this and that. There's never now enough for them to focus on. They always have to focus on tomorrow. Then number 9, financial pressures related to my child's need, e.g. schooling, extracurricular activities, add to my parenting stress. So if you're in Nigeria right now, you're most likely experiencing what we call I can't even remember the term, but we are now noticing just the huge impact of financial stress that not just schools are going through, but parents are also going through. This is the time where you are beginning to make decisions. Should your child go back to the same school, or do you need to look for a school closer to home? This and that, should you subscribe to this extracurricular activity or not, and everything. And then number 10, just like number 4, still the same way, even though it sounds positive, despite the challenges, I feel fulfilled and proud of my role as a parent. Despite the challenges, I feel fulfilled and proud of my role as a parent. So if you're done with the test, just put yes in caps there for me to see. If you want me to go, I'll just go through the assessment again. All right. Thank you, super. Oh, thank you, Rashida. Okay, let me just go through the test again. Number 1, I often feel overwhelmed by the responsibilities of parenting my adolescent. Number 2, I find it hard to connect emotionally with my child and enjoy our time together. Number 3, my child's behavior frequently causes conflicts within our family. Number 4, I enjoy being a parent and find it rewarding despite. Number 5, managing my child's needs adds significant financial strain to our family. Number 6, I often feel unsupported in my parenting role, whether from my partner, family, or friends. Number 7, my adolescent's mood swings and emotional ups and downs are difficult for me to handle. Number 8, I am worried about my child's future, including the academic performance and personal decisions. Number 9, financial pressures related to my child's needs, e.g. schooling, extracurricular activities, etc., add to my parenting stress. Number 10, despite the challenges, I feel fulfilled and proud of my role as a parent. So I've seen a lot of yeses. Now it's time for us to score ourselves. So I'm just going to keep quiet here and ask you to add all your numbers together from 1 to 10. What is the total? And what did you get? If you feel comfortable, again, this is meant to be a safe space. If you feel comfortable, you can share your number with us. If not, that's okay. Just know where your number is. I'm going to share with us some reflective questions very shortly so that we begin to attend to this stress the way they are right now, so that we can move away from distress to eustress. Right. Someone's saying 25, 20, 24. Okay, well done, everyone. All right. That's cool. All right. If anyone of my team is here, can you go to YouTube and check if if anybody is responding to this? Let's see if we have some numbers from YouTube as well. So now that you know your number, what are the things you need to begin to pay attention to? The reflection questions are here. The first one is this: which areas did you score the highest, indicating your greatest stress? There are 2 particular questions that I made mention, number 4 and number 10, where it sounded positive. But you see, if you had to end the question in spite of or despite of, then of course it is that you are bearing the burden a lot more than you are aware of the gratitude that you should bear. So if you score that place high, your subconscious is also tricking you to pay attention to something. But there may be a burden that you need to share with someone, right? So which areas did you score the highest? And what stress is it indicating for you? Number 2, what aspects of parenting do you find most rewarding even amid the challenges? So number 5, number 10 again, pay attention to it. So in spite of the challenges that you know you're going through, begin to put it down. What are you grateful for? Because you need to remind your brain that, yes, I know there's challenge. Yes, I know there's inflation. Yes, I know that school fees are around the corner. Yes, I know this and that. However, I'm grateful that my child is an amazing human being. So 2 days ago, was it 2 nights ago? Yeah, last night. I can't even remember. I think it was last night. It was last night, actually. I was super stressed. I'd had a cascade of disappointment in the morning, attending to the physical events coming up on Saturday, and I'd more or less talked myself out. I was really tired, right? And then my daughter sees me, she's 6 years old, and she sees me, she's just looking at me, and she's asking me, Mommy, are you angry? And I say, no. Are you frustrated? I say, yes. She says, okay, sorry. Then her dad comes back and she says, Mommy, you've been working too hard. Don't worry, I'm going to serve Daddy. And in that moment, for me, was like, wow, I am just so grateful that I'm raising a noticer. I'm raising a thoughtful child. So in spite of the challenges of the day, I was stressed. I was in distress, actually. She turned it around into eustress for me, just by being thoughtful and kind and compassionate in that moment. So what small steps or changes could help reduce your stress and enhance your enjoyment as a parent? Remember, I said something that my daughter also came to me and said to me, we haven't had our me time this week. And I said, yes, that's because Mommy has a meeting all through this week. So she calls me, whenever she sees me on the system, she says, you're having a meeting. I say, yes, right? But I also remember that last week we had a chat in our me time that Mom is going to be pretty busy this week. So her school had a program for the beach. I took her to the beach and she thoroughly enjoys herself. She exhausted herself. She was really happy, but she was asking for more as a child would. But in that moment, I made sure to let her know that this week, we're not going to have enough opportunity to have fun because Mommy is going to be super busy. But seeing that I had that discussion with her the week before, she gave me a lot of breathing space this week. Like a lot of breathing space this week. And that is what it means to understand that it is not that we will not feel stress. Trust me, our life up until the time we will receive our result when they are 18 or 25 and they are grown adults is going to be stress-filled. But we do not have to be stressful. There's a difference. So the connection between your stress and your child's behavior is in this diagram. The more anxious you are, the more painfully frustrating you are, the more your child begins to exhibit negative behaviors. Because the influence is there. There is always conflict. There's going to be poor communication. How many times have you come back from work and you've had to stay in traffic for like 2 or 3 hours? And by the time you get to work, the only thing you're thinking in your head is, I just want to raise my leg and sit down. Or you came back home and then you find that the dishes are not washed. There's uniform are strewn up and there. The school bag is there. And you're just like, you want to squeal. But if you go back to the beginning of this class, I mentioned that that stress is what? The distance between your dream, that dream of you coming back home and putting your leg up and making yourself feel like the queen of the manor, and the reality that children will be children. They will mess up, they will forget things, they will make mistakes. They wouldn't care whether you spend 3 hours in traffic because they are children. And that is the reality. If you forget that distance increases your stress. But if you can make your dream accommodate your reality, I would so love to put my feet up when I get home. However, knowing my child is a particular personality, I most likely have to do A, B, C, and D. And then you remind yourself that children are children. What did Dr. Adeyemi say? The first rule of children is what? Play. So when you see them not doing the things that the chores that they're supposed to do, that's not the time for you to lose it. It's for you to merge your dreams to your reality, or let your dreams accommodate your reality. Because if you don't do that, how does it affect you and your parent-child connection? You begin to lose out on communication. By the time children become adolescents, where we begin to say, oh, they are moody, or they have secrets, they don't trust us, they don't talk to us. It is because over time, when they were younger children, when they come back from school and they say, oh, mommy, see, instead of you to see, you're like, I'm coming, you're on your phone, and you're looking at your phone and you don't care. Okay, Tim, please remind me that I'm running out of time. Don't say because it's Amina that is speaking, right? Number two, it is behavioral challenges. So I was talking about communication. So you didn't see it at that time. So by the time they are in their adolescence, they're like, you don't care about seeing what I have to say, so, or you don't care about what I have to say, so why should I talk to you? And I'd rather talk to the friend, right? So you haven't built that connection because you've been living stressful parenting. And number two is behavioral challenges. The more you're apart, the more you lose out on communication, the more you snap at them, the more you're anxious, the more there's more negatives from you. And it's always don't. Why? Why don't you? Why shouldn't you? In your relationship with them, the more they begin to display behavioral challenges that you begin to find demeaning and disrespectful. Number three, I don't know about you, but there was a time that I used to think that I wasn't born into the right family. In fact, there was a time I used to think that my mom was not my mom. I think I was about 10 or 12 or 11 that time. And I would say, I don't think this woman could ever be my mom. But guess what? This was a woman now, because of my job, I have so much respect and love for, because I now know her journey. Not only was she a single parent because her husband was deceased by the time she was 40, was also that she had to raise 7 children by herself. By the time I was an adolescent, she was getting closer to menopause. So please add those 3 things together. Isn't that enough for you to be a stressful parent? So I'll come back when I'll say this woman, I'm like, no, this way. There's no how this woman is my mom. And I had huge self-esteem problem. There's no way you would convince me to be able to talk to hundreds of people on the platform like this when I was that age. I had huge self-esteem problems. But that was also because I was struggling to understand, why can't a mother be willing to see you? Because as I'm coming on, the first thing she's checking is, why is your white not white the way you left home? Why is it dirty? Now you have to wash. Why, and again, she was speaking from the space of our own stress. And if you look at that for yourself, begin to ask yourself, is that the same thing that you're doing? Number 4, academic pressure. The more pressure you put on them at home, the more they begin to feel like they have to meet up and nothing is enough. There are certain things that we need to know as parents, and I hope that when you sign up for the Parents One-on-One class, this is one of the things that you want to learn. Knowing that it is not all children that are geniuses. It is not all children that are going to be Simone Biles. It is not all children or your child that is going to be another Venus Williams. Stop over-subscribing them to things. Stop putting so much pressure on them. Number 5, I think, social and peer influence. The more they move away from you, the more they move towards their friends and adolescents. While friendship is very important for adolescents to thrive, but you see, because they're not getting the love they want at home, they're going to look for it in the wrong places with their friends. And then number 6, emotional and mental health concerns. As a matter of fact, one of the reasons that I put together this summit was because this year alone had been called more than 10 times for suicide intervention, which is part of my job. And I was just so tired. There was a particular case, I came back home, I put on the shower, and I just kept crying. Because this is a 16-year-old that I cannot understand or fathom why they would choose to take that. So many of our children are having to deal with anxiety and depression in their adolescence because, again, the home is no longer a safe space for them. So what do we need to do to close the gap? Number 1, everything is a choice. So don't say, well, I don't have a choice, I have to go to work. Trust me. If you call in for a sick day today, the job would go on without you. Not to mention if you decide to say, I want to take a mental health day. So everything is a choice, even when we feel we don't have a choice. Number 2, everything informs. So your child's behavior that is making you feel anxious and angry is also informing you of something. Number 3, what's your PSI history? I just shared my own mother-child history with you about seeing my mom constantly being stressed. And I didn't really know. I didn't pay attention to it because, of course, I was an adolescent then. But now imagine if I haven't chosen to retrain myself and I continue to think that that is the way parenting is supposed to be. what more harm? The thing we begin to call generational curse and generational trauma. This is how it begins. Number 4, misery is addictive, right? So is stress. It can be so, there are certain people that they don't know how to sit down. They are constantly thinking about something. So my team, my family, like they had a meeting and they said, Amina, after the summit, 1 week, no discussion. You have to take time off. Because again, I lived in a family. I come from a family where every single one of us, old and young, we were trained to be independent on a fast level. So I got used to it and I got addicted to being a workaholic. And I didn't know any better until I was told that I've been a workaholic. You may think it's a functional addiction. It is still an addiction. So you need to learn how to rest. So what do we need to do to close the gap? Number 1 is self-awareness and care. Take care of yourself. Have some me day. Have what I call, or what PF has taught us to be, your royal day, when they are taking care of you. Number 2, comes and con. Comes is communication and connection. Provide the time where you communicate and you talk about it and you let them say, come tell me, what do you think I haven't been doing well this week? What do you want me to do better? So that you can connect better. Number 3, realistic expectations. Stop putting those fairy tales things where, in our own days, if it was our parent, as soon as they hear the horn, we'll run inside. They play. These children, it's not that they don't respect you, it is that they are also asserting themselves. And that is the one thing that we need to begin to recognize as parents. If you don't teach them, they don't know it. So if you want them to respect you in a particular way, let them know. Stop putting some dreams in your head and calling it realistic expectations. Number 4, structures and boundaries. This is important. I'm all for positive, engage and conscious connecting parenting. But you see, the thing that makes it work is structure and boundaries. You cannot wake up one day and say, in this house, we don't lie, when you have never, ever discussed what lie means and what truth means in that family. There has to be a discussion about what it means to lie and what it means to tell the truth. You cannot continue to punish lies when they tell you the truth, you actually also go ballistic about it. It's very important. And number 5, the fact, okay, I'm sorry to say, but a lot of us need therapy as parents. We need to heal from the things that we had gone through as children as well. And because at the end of the day, when you really understand what true stress means, you stress, and you're able to manage. So again, I say it, life is stress-filled, but it does not have to be stressful. Parenting is stress-filled, but it does not have to be stressful. Positive stresses provides positive challenges and motivation in parents. And then that will drive positive behavior. So there will always be things that you will notice that you need to work on. But when you focus on the possibilities and the positivities, then you actually begin to thrive together. And I close with this. What does it look like for you to close the gap? Again, shared learning, responsibility. Begin to learn together. Your child can actually tell you how they feel about you, and you can do better as a parent, and you can do the same thing with them. Responsibility, you're both able to make yourself accountable to what you want and what you need in your parent-child relationship. Number 3, there's endless opportunities for connection, because every little thing, whether you're cooking, whether you're soaping and everything, is a moment for connection. Number 4, stopping the traumatic impacts. It's time for us to stop that generational trauma that are the colonials passed on to our forefathers, who now begin to think that the only way to get people to listen to them is through the cane and is through shouting and yelling and things like that. And then number 5, there's milestone effect. When your child can come to you and say, Mommy, I got an A, and it was because of you. Trust me, you'll never forget that moment. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Coach Amina. We have been waiting for your own session. And so you have not disappointed us. This was a session, I think, the most session that parents need. Because a lot of parents go through a lot of stress parenting. And so this is, I mean, please clap your hands for her. She's done an amazing job. She's just done so much, and helped us see that we need to also handle our own stress when we're working with our teenagers. So thank you so much, Coach Amina.
Thank you.
Coach Joy, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so over to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Coach Amina, for this insightful session. It's been so wonderful. You know, sometimes we can't even know what stresses us, but I think from what you administered, it has helped us to be able to identify. I think we even need to go sit back and brood over this thing. I want to encourage all parents on this call to go back on YouTube to listen to this session again, because you may think you have heard something, but when you go back and sit and listen again, that's when you get everything. You can begin to ruminate on some of the things you've heard and then write down some new steps you will take, how to reduce the stress. In fact, for those of us living in Lagos, we live in a place where stress is very normal, and we need to learn how to manage it, the stress of economy and everything, then adding it to that of children. But my prayer is that after this session, we can be able to manage it better and have a very wonderful time with our children. Now, I want to ask that if you have questions, we'll give our Coach Amina, we'll give our facilitator for this night, we'll give her some time to catch some water. Our time is fast spent, but I think we won't end this session without taking 1 or 2 questions. That would be so unfair on parents that have questions to ask. So in case you have a question that you want us to attend to, you can take 1 or 2 questions. We can take it. So put it in the chat box if you have a question for her, while we allow her to take a sip of water. The tech team can send us, we can take the advert of our sponsor while she takes that. And also remember to fill the feedback form. If you've enjoyed the program, we need to know which area we did well and which area we wanted to improve on. So you can go ahead. All right, thank you so much. Thank you, parents, for being here again, for staying put. I can see that everybody is still around. Okay, so again, I guess we don't have any question. I guess our parents are full to the brim. They want to think about what they have learned.
Yes,
So I
we
can't
both
see
have-
any question in the chat box. Okay, thank you so much. Our time is fast spent here. There's one question. The question said, I'm always stressed because of my teenagers' rivalry. I think that's the real issue in the family. So they do as if they are enemies. What can I do, please? Very serious question.
It's a very serious question, and it's something that has to do with understanding the difference between sibling squabbles and sibling rivalry. So when it's sibling squabbles, we are focusing, oh, it's just, genuine interest in trying to be the best person for the parent, or trying to make known that, oh, they also matter. But when it comes to rivalry and there's a particular point that you made mention of, the questionnaire, where you say that they are behaving like enemies. It's time for a family meeting. The only way to navigate such an issue that I have found more effective is there are two things. Number one, get each one of them together, ask them what exactly they like about their sibling, ask them what they like, what they don't like about their sibling. That's one. And number two, get everybody together to talk about it. Whatever it is, talk about it. More often than not, what you will discover is that there is a big unchanneled anger. Maybe you have told them as a parent that, are you not older than her or older than him? Get over it or forget about it. And they felt an injustice in that space. Or there is something that they are keeping from you and that you need actually to address. But beyond this is why we have things like parent-child mediation. You would think that it's not like it's a spousal thing. Why are we having to go to a mediator? That certain things or certain languages that teenagers or adolescents use that you as a parent may not be able to understand. And you can't be objective, because if I were to ask you now, who do you like most or who do you love most among your children? You say, I love them equally. But let's be frank. There's one child amongst all of them that you feel an affinity to, and they can sense it, and they are feeling that sense of unfairness. And until you address that and you allow them to recognize certain things that are also personal to you, then you cannot begin to address the bigger issue of whether it's rivalry or squabbles. Somebody asked in the chat box, is it possible for you not to feel stressed as a parent? If you're sitting on a chair and that chair is a four-legged chair, right? You're sitting on that chair is putting a stress on the chair, even though that chair is built to withstand your weight as a person sitting on it. That is the normal phenomenon of that chair's existence. The normal phenomenon of our living in life is that we'll get stressed. However, if that chair was to lose a leg, for instance, and becomes a three-legged chair, and you're still sitting on it with the same comfort as though it was a four-legged chair, what does it become? You becomes you yourself, it's either you fall down and the chair breaks. It's either the chair breaks and then you fall down, or you're sitting on it uncomfortably, trying to shift your weight in such a way that it doesn't feel the entire weight of the chair. It's because the chair is already distressed. That is also the thing about parenting and life. When you are not giving yourself enough room to accommodate the natural phenomenon of existence, then you become distressed. When you're not giving yourself the enough room to understand what is important and what is not important, what you need to pay attention to and what you need to overlook, then you're actually causing more distress to yourself. Again, remember, parental stress is the distance between your imagined life as a parent and the reality of your life as a parent. If you cannot make the reality of your life accommodate your dreams or make your dreams accommodate your reality, then you'll continue to be distressed you continue to have distresses as a parent.
Thank you so much, Aminas, for that, for the answers. I can see a parent said, in line with all we've learned, what I have heard, I will create more time for my children. I think that's it, yes. Because when you create more time for them, you get to understand them better, yes. And then it will even ease the stress, yes. So I think that's a very worthy. More parents can send in you can send in more of the things you've learned. Probably you've learned this, and other parents have learned the other one. We can share information and then learn from each other as we go along. We are very grateful again. I want to mention our sponsors. Thank you, Praise for International. They were here on the first. The organization has been here supporting. We have Ready for Life. We have Goxi Micro Insurance. We have Eriada City. We have Debo Africa, Guided Path School, Lotus Bank, which is our greatest partner. We want to say a very big thank you to you for having us to learn this. You know, this program is free, but it came at the cost of all these people, and we're grateful to you. We won't end this program without also saying thank you to all our wonderful parents who have been here. We also have another program. We will continue tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be the last session for our parents, and we want to have all of you here again. And then also remember that on Saturday, we have the physical program. You all have the details to that program. We're looking forward to seeing you. Also remember to go on YouTube to check the replay of these programs. They've been there. The sessions have been uploaded on YouTube. Go there, check, like, and subscribe. And we're grateful to have you once again. Coach Moore, over to you as we say goodbye for this night, if there's no other thing.
Thank you, parents. Thank you, Coach Amina. Thank you for this session. And we know that every parent here is going home with something. We look forward to having you in our final sessions tomorrow and on Saturday at the physical session. Please fill the survey form and also head over to YouTube to like our channel. Thank you so much. Have a good evening or have a good night.
Good night, everyone. Thank you so much again.
Coach Mo, please repost the survey. Thanks.